Clan War League medals are the absolute best way to increase productivity in Clash of Clans, but most people don't know that they're spending their Clan War League medals completely wrong. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing for you guys the most effective ways that you can spend your Clan War League medals for every Town Hall level, as well as giving you basic tips to max out your base even faster. If you want to be able to maximize the effectiveness of your Clan War League medals, I would recommend just saving them all up until you're at least Town Hall 13, maybe even Town Hall 14, since the hammers get more value from upgrades that take more time. It's also important to note that you can hold up to 2,500 Clan War League medals at a time, so during the early game, you're able to stack a large amount of them and just build them up so that way you can use them in the later game. However, if you are the kind of person who doesn't care about getting the maximum efficiency out of your Clan War League medals, I'm going to jump into the League Shop right now and showcase for you guys how you can get the best value from them. Starting us off in the League Shop, we have all the cosmetics. If you're wanting to progress as fast as possible in Clash of Clans, I recommend avoiding these at all costs because they don't really provide you any value with progressing in the game, and they also have a pretty hefty price that comes along with them, with some of the skins costing 2,000 and even more than that for the war scenery. If you are, however, the type of person who just likes to collect stuff in the game, I completely understand it is completely acceptable for you to spend your Clan War League medals on these different decorations. They're some of the rarest and coolest cosmetics in the game, but just know that value per league medal is the worst you can get in the game. Moving on from the cosmetics, the League Shop also offers loot. You can pick up 2.5 million gold or 2.5 million elixir for a total of 25 raid medals each. Essentially, you're trading one league medal for 100,000 loot, which is probably the worst value you can get from the entire League Shop besides the cosmetics. Most people past Town 11 will be able to farm this much loot from 2 sneaky goblin raids, so in most cases I would not recommend purchasing the loot from the League Shop. The only scenario which I would maybe recommend someone to purchase the loot is if you are a relatively inactive player who just doesn't like to farm a ton. It can be a nice way for you to pick up any additional loot that you might need for an upgrade. Next up in the League Shop is the training potion, which is essentially just a cheaper and better alternative to the loot. You basically pay 10 league medals for a 1-hour training boost, which you can use to farm way more elixir and gold and dark elixir than you would get from the loot itself. A training potion also costs less than half the price of the gold or elixir you can buy from the shop, and it lets you farm all 3 resources as I've already stated. Overall, if you want to spend your league medals on loot, which I wouldn't recommend, your best bet is to just buy training potions rather than buying loot itself if you're willing to farm for that hour. Also, if you are in the early stages of your Clash of Clans journey and don't quite have your 5th builder unlocked, the training potion is a great option to get you closer to that. You can buy each training potion for 10 league medals, and then you can sell them for 10 gems, basically trading 1 league medal per gem each. And since the builders cost gems, it can be a great way for you to pick up some extra gems to get closer to that 4th, 5th, or even 6th builder. Moving on, we probably have the worst thing you could ever spend your league medals on, the resource potion. This is basically just a worse version of the training potion, since it costs the same amount of medals and it will produce considerably less amount of loot than just farming for an hour. The one benefit that I will say that this has is that it is entirely passive income, so you don't need to spend an hour farming, but the loot can also very easily get stolen from you on one given defense. Overall, I would recommend avoiding the resource potion at all costs, but that is once again an option if you feel inclined to do so. Now, moving on a little bit further, we get into some of the items that will actually save you time in progressing in Clash of Clans. For 20 league medals, you can buy yourself 1 research potion, which will save you 1 day of laboratory research time. Now, this is what I recommend for any players progressing through the lower Town Hall levels. For the same price of 1 hammer of fighting or 1 hammer of spells, you can buy yourself 6 research potions, which essentially just saves you 6 days of upgrade time. This means that if you have a laboratory upgrade of anything less than 6 days long, you are better off just buying 6 research potions in comparison to 1 hammer of fighting or 1 hammer of spells. Basically, from Town Hall 3 all the way up to Town Hall 12, the research potion will be your best value since the upgrades are all less than 6 days, minus a couple upgrades in Town Hall 12 will be a little more than 6 days. Those I would use hammers on. Moving on to the builder potion, which is a bit more expensive than the research potion, costing you 30 league medals instead of 20, but it also offers a boost to all 5 or 6 of your builders if you have 6 builders, which is great because it basically can save you up to 60 hours of upgrade. It's also important to note though that the builder potion only cuts off 10 hours of build time per builder, whereas the research potion takes off an entire day. Overall, the builder potion is another great option if you're in between Town Hall 3 to Town Hall 12. It kind of just depends on your personal base as to where you are in progression, if you need the upgrades more in your builders or if you need the upgrades more in your lab. Typically though, after Town Hall 8, once you get to Town Hall 9, usually your laboratory is going to be where you're bottlenecking, so I would recommend probably focusing more on the research potion than the builder potion. Moving on in the League Shop, we have 10 wall rings for a total of 50 raid medals. The only case in which you should ever spend your league medals on wall rings is if you really just want to plow through a ton of walls at once. The wall rings are your absolute best value if you are wanting to upgrade your walls, as you can spend 50 league medals to get basically 10 million worth of loot, compared to if you spend 50 league medals and just loot, you only get 5 million with the loot. Overall though, I recommend just avoiding these at all costs unless you really want to get your walls upgraded, because they do make your base look way nicer. Last up, we have the absolute best value for your Clan War League medals of all time, time, the hammers. As I stated, I recommend avoiding the hammers if you're anything like Town Hall 11 and below, and even for Town Hall 12, using the hammers isn't going to be the best value if you're Town Hall 12, so probably just don't use them till you're Town Hall 13. Just use the builder potion, use the research potion, you're going to get better value than you will out of the hammers. The worst value out of all the hammers is obviously going to be the hammer of building. Now this is just because at the later Town Hall levels, usually you're going to have a bottleneck in your laboratory before you ever bottleneck your builders, so it's just better to be getting your longer laboratory upgrade times done with the hammers than it is your builder times, so that way you can kind of offset that bottleneck a little bit. Also, a hammer of building is the same cost as the hammer of fighting and hammer of spells, so I do recommend just sticking to those two. It's also important to note that you can use the hammer of spells and the hammer of fighting all on dark elixir upgrade, and we all know that dark elixir upgrades is arguably way harder to grind dark elixir than it is to grind gold or normal elixir. And lastly, arguably the best item you can get with league metals of all time is the hammer of heroes. This hammer does cost an additional 45 metals, costing a total of 165 per hammer, but overall it is just better in value. Remember, you cannot use any of your heroes while they're upgrading, so being able to skip the upgrade time on your heroes so you can actually participate in wars is huge. Being able to participate in wars is going to be able to let you farm more loot, farm more ores, and just get your heroes up quicker and your hero equipment now, which is huge in Clash of Clans, so it is great to be able to spend those Clan War League medals on hammers of heroes. Also, like I said, 3 out of 4 of the hero upgrades do cost dark elixir, so you're going to be saving on having to farm a crap ton of dark elixir if you do just buy hammers of heroes. That concludes my complete guide for how to spend Clan War League medals in Clash of Clans. Comment below your favorite way to spend your Clan War League medals, and make sure to drop a sub and like this video for more daily Clash of Clans content.